Hey everyone, and welcome to another Gadget Talk. I'm Derek. Of course, over here I was going the right direction, is Chad, Bounce, and below us, we got back with us the Pizza Ninja, who the Sasquatch monitoring station that Chad is building is for. So,
Yes.
how is everybody doing tonight?
Great. Nice to be back. It's actually, I didn't think I'd ever say this, but I'm actually missing doing episodes.
I am too.
The break's a little too long.
It is. I know I've been extremely busy with personal and work and everything like that. It is kind of nice to be here, being able to do this. And I'm really excited to see the progress of this cache. And I know, John, you are as well.
Oh, I am super excited. It's one of those things too. I was telling Chad that we actually had our Chautauqua Rails to Trails board of directors meeting this past Monday, and we were telling everybody about it. Took pictures, showed everybody on the board, and everybody's very super excited. So we can't wait. So a big thank you to Chad for all of his help and Derek for all of your help with this.
I've
Been fun.
I haven't really helped. It's all been bad.
You talk. You produce the broadcast. You do all the talking. It's even harder for me. So I
You're doing
appreciate
the
everything
heavy
you do.
lifting. You're doing the heavy lifting and building this. So
Well, Derek, we appreciate your Sasquatch expertise too. Certainly, this isn't one of those things we could do on our own.
What is Sasquatch?
We should do a Sasquatch screen cache.
Ooh.
And you gotta scream like I shouldn't be saying this stuff because
No, you shouldn't be.
Hey, you know what? My scream would be perfect too.
Ooh, yeah.
You do sound a lot like Chewbacca, Chad. I do have to say that.
Yeah, it's a distant cousin.
And if you're new to the show and you're missing that, go back to the scream cache of when we revealed that. I don't remember what episode that was. We'll have to do some research on which one that was. But oh my gosh, I don't remember if I've laughed that hard in so long. So
or you don't have to go back because I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah,
I think though, Chad. Chad, you should do it again like a strong man. So it's kind of like it's like baby Sasquatch scream, like Sasquatch master scream, and like the whole gamut on that one. That would be very funny.
Chad, I see the scream cache behind you, so you have to relive that
somewhere. Right up there. Actually, never mind. I haven't made the fourth cache I want to start building.
So, that's coming up. That's coming up as well. So but before we get to anything else, we got to do take care of our sponsors, and then also we have a special announcement for actually next week's show that we want to talk about, and you don't want to miss that either because it's going to have a lot of information on there. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take care of our sponsors. If you have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. The sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today.
Logwork, the creators of the fantastic logbook, made with genuine Right in the Rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who'd rather go caching than doing cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and the hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today. Okay, so while we're doing the sponsors, I'm going back through the messages on here, and so we got some of our favorite people are on. Of course, we got Seabeck Tribe coming in, Gary coming in, Tricashis saying good evening, Direwolf. Oh, is it true, Gary, that today's your birthday? If it is, happy birthday!
Yeah, happy birthday.
So Engineering Corey Drew's on here.
Birthday.
Yeah, Darren from Australia is on here. GCD SK11 from Medicine Hat. I know where that one's coming in from. We already got Dire Wolf. Bell on the Move's going to have to watch it later, but hey, a Bell on the Move. Hey, look what hat I got on. All right. Oz Fox is on us as well. So we got 2 Aussies on here with us. And then I was just something was kind of funny. Dire Wolf's comment here. Derek, you're the Ed McMahon that Chad's Johnny Carson. I'm on the wrong side though. Oh, no, wait. No, I'm not. I'm not. Because Johnny Carson was always on the left and I'm on the right. So, all right. So, but yeah, and then Sparky 916 has just joined us as well. What's this? 1.5, but I'll celebrate for a week. Okay. So it's in about half a week, I guess, or 1/12 of a week. I don't know.
On 1/12, his birthday was on 1/12, which
1/12.
was
okay. So
3 days ago.
3 days ago. So happy belated birthday to Gary. And speaking of Gary, Gary is part of the crew of course, the Geocache Talk crew that got this all started. But he had this crazy brainstorm explosion, whatever, with all of us to create Cache Fest. And if you don't know what Cache Fest is, it's a huge mega now that we do here. Right, this year is in Memphis, so it's Memphis 2023. We did it last year; it was a great event. But there's something that's going to be happening next week. We're going to actually be doing a Cache Fest show next Sunday night at 8:00 Central. But part of that show, and we've teased this several different times, and I'm going to show the tease again. We're going to reveal what this is. The vault. So we're going to reveal what the vault is next week on our Cache Fest show. The whole Cache Fest crew is going to be with us, and that's going to be 8:00 next Sunday. Here, same gadget channel, but it's going to be a Cache Fest channel. All right, next week's going to be the Cache Fest, but it's the Geocache Talk channel.
Yeah.
So 8:00 Central. You don't want to miss that. We're going to give a lot more details. There'll be a lot of stuff that's going to be released of the events that's going to be going on and things that we have been working on behind the scenes. And who knows? There will more than likely be. We'll probably let Gary spill some beans on some stuff. So,
you got to let Gary spill some beans. You got to. It's his favorite thing.
I was going to say the forecast for a great show is Gary spilling beans.
Yeah. So Gary will probably get to spill the beans on. So that's what he's going to get to spill the beans on next week.
That's fun.
And more.
It's going to be something that's epic. So,
yeah.
Oh, and Gary just mentioned that too.
So, all right. So, let's get to the Sasquatch Monitoring Station. And so, tell us, I'm going to turn it over to y'all. I'm here, but this is y'all. So, I'm going to let you lead off with what's going on. Chad?
Perfect. So, when we ended last show, we had everything kind of ready to mount. So I mounted the we can go to my desk camera there, my build cam.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. So my job was to mount the lens here on the outside, mount the antenna on it, and then get the nameplate made and mounted. So I ended up getting this painted on here, getting the sticker put on, although I have a completely different idea for a sticker now. So all that is done. So we just need to start building from here, the inside. So if you've been following the Instagram posts, John actually does our Instagram, our media. He posted actually a video the other day of kind of the inside, a spoiler of what the inside looks like. And so that's what we're going to be putting together today and pretty much completing it up unless we come up with some better ideas or some more ideas to do to it tonight. So first thing we're going to do, if you notice the photo, I decided to add a solar panel to it to charge the batteries. So you don't have to go out every 6 months and change the batteries. Depending on, this is going in a forest, so it has to get some light. So if you're in an area where maybe there's not quite enough light in the forest, you may want to just run the battery system and change the batteries. But I love that. Yeah. So let me go ahead here and show you exactly what I'm going to do here.
Okay, going back to build cam. Here we go.
Yes, thank you, Derek. So what I went ahead and did was I printed up a holder for this solar panel. So I actually made this the day after the podcast last week, trying to figure out how to make the solar panel. I didn't want to reinvent the wheel because I had everything pretty much in these kits. So the kits I have for these look like this here. They're the fake cameras. This one actually has a strobe light on it. The one, I put it away. Sorry. Go back over here. Okay, the one that has a light flashing is this one here. If you open it up, you see the solar panel here. And I took the insides out. That's probably what I'm using. So anyways, I pulled the LED out and the double A battery pack out of here, and I end up using it on this build that we're doing tonight. I end up then printing up here it is. Tell you, too much stuff. I end up printing up an area, something for it to sit in. So how I got this solar panel out of the camera was I end up taking it apart, and then I just took this over to my bandsaw, and I just cut around the edges of this. As you can see here, I left the slip and ended up making this tight enough to where it slides in, and then I just put some silicone in, and it sits in there. This is what it looks like without the solar panel. So that's how I made that. End up putting a couple of threaded inserts on the back so it could tighten down to the box. Now, after I did that, I was not convinced that I really liked the way it looked. And I didn't like the angle because right now this is at a 45.
Right.
And I kind of was thinking maybe that'd be good for in the woods. But after thinking about it more, I think I like a 22.5 better. So a little bit less of a slope, which should let more light in. So I ended up remaking that. And my thought was, well, I didn't really like the way I mounted the solar panel because your average person may not have a bandsaw to cut this out, and you may just want to build it from scratch. So I ended up making, what did I do with it?
Hey, Chad, while you're looking for that, a question came in from Sparky916. Do you waterproof the 3D printed solar box with poly or something?
Yeah, so I went over it last time. This will work. I had everything sitting right here. I wonder if I took it to work. Boy, if I kept my shop clean, I wouldn't have these issues.
You haven't even seen my shop for a while.
No, literally, this table right here is kind of my little. Oh, I'll put it here and put it away later. Table. But anyway, I use a black silicone. You could also use something like this. This is gutter seal, but yes. So what I did was put down. Go back to the build camera.
Okay.
There. It will pop up here somewhere when the show's over. Silicone on here, and then slid in the solar panel. And then I didn't do it this time because I fit it all together, but I wanted to take it off as I would silicone then this here, just on the outside a little bit. And I have black silicone to do that, and then fit it in, screw it in, and then I'd wipe all the extra silicone away. So yes, it is waterproofed because I want this to be water resistant, waterproof for everything.
And hopefully it'll be Sasquatch resistant too. I think is how you're designing it to be.
Yeah. Hopefully.
And I do see one other comment too from Dire Wolf saying, Chad, you should put a random 3-digit number on there to make it seem more legit. And I don't know, Chad, if it's okay to
go ahead.
Give the details on this one, but Dire Wolf. So what we're actually thinking is this will actually be one out of a series. So this would be Sasquatch Monitoring Series Station 01, and then others can be put out there too from there. I think there's interest. I think Chad said from Florida, maybe Australia, and there's a few other ones as well too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'd be great. So I found what I did. Okay, cool. So I ended up buying these 6-volt solar panels here when I put wires on, but you can buy these 6-volt solar panels that are flat. You can solder to them. And so that's what I ended up doing right here on this one. And same thing, silicone around here. And then you could mount this inside. And this fits in nice and snug in there. And then you can see how that goes down. So you'd silicone this down to get it to sit, and then silicone this. And I actually did not put in the threaded nuts on here because I thought you guys actually might want to see how it's done.
Okay.
And I'm going to put the 22.5 on. So let me switch my bit. So when you put on these threaded nuts or inserts, there are several different sizes. So you have these specialty tips for putting the inserts on. And you can use a regular solder tip, but these tips actually make it going straighter and easier to use. I've used it both ways. And if you're just doing it once or twice, I wouldn't spend the money on the special tips. But I like to use those, so I use them a lot. So I spent the money on them. Let's see. We did it for Cash Fest last year, right? We sat in Derek's garage one night and
oh my gosh, yeah.
in all those boxes. So what the inserts look like, and I'll just pull out a quick thing of them. I have them in both metric and standard. This is what they look like. This. So they're made for plastic. You can get them made for wood as well, and they come in many different sizes. So you have different depths. This is a fairly thin one here, or you can go with like a thicker one, a deeper one, I should say, that looks like this. So it depends on your project is. And I believe 4 millimeter is what I end up using. Oh, yes. So you have your insert here. Put my soldering gun. I got to turn it on here. And let me move this box out of the way for a sec. I need a bigger build table. Okay. So you have the holes here that it's going to sit in. So there's a couple different ways you can push this in here or get it set. You want to make these holes when you print them just a tad bit smaller than your insert is.
Okay.
And then you can either we're almost up to the right temperature here. And then all you have to do is stick. This is at an angle, so it might be easier. I'll show the other way I do it. And I hope this insert is the right size. Oh boy, it isn't. Let me see if I have the bigger one that will fit in there.
Okay. While you're doing that, Chad, Direwolf's asking a question saying, I assume you're doing the solar thing to avoid having to go out and change batteries, right? Does it mean this won't be able to be located in a wooded area? So Direwolf, this is going to be posted off the side of a rails to trail. So you're going to have some clearing from that. And then we'll orientate it towards the sun on there too. So the thought is hopefully that should keep the charging actually on there so that the batteries won't require to be changed. I think if, Chad, we were thinking just the batteries, were we thinking they'd have to be changed maybe like every 2 months? Is that what we were thinking if we didn't do solar?
I think they go 4 to 6 months if you don't do solar. That's typically, I've ran that on my other caches, but I think it depends on the weather, right? Because batteries drain differently in colder and hotter weather. So that was why I did the solar, is to try and prevent someone from hiking up in the woods and having to change it. And I think it looks cool too, right? So you're doing a monitoring station that needs to look official, and it looks like just like the antenna, right? That's
right.
A placebo. It's not real, but people are going to think it is real, and that's kind of what the solar panel also looks like as well.
Right.
So I end up changing to a larger 832nd nut here, and so it actually fits inside, and then I'll just heat it up. Now these are longer than what I printed, But the reason I'm not changing this to a smaller tip is it's 700 degrees and it'll take a minute to cool down. So for tonight, I'll just, you stick it, that's still not quite big enough, but you stick it on there and you push down and it will actually seat inside.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun doing those stern cast. With this tool, it took it. I mean, I've been a soldering iron, but with this tool, it's just so much faster. Just dropping them in and just them in there, doing it. So
yeah, it really goes fairly fast, and that was kind of what I was worried about here on this. Is you see how deep they are? It kind of stuck up, but that's okay. I'll reprint it, and I'll just use that for an example tonight. On how I put those inserts in. Anyway, that's how those are put in. So they're inside the bottom of this already. I'll just stick this back on for tonight. So, and if you see the lens piece, I just cut it out again on the bandsaw. You could use an eye for scissors, and then I super glued it in to where it goes, and it's not coming out ever. So that's in nice and tight. So we'll take our solar panel, and what I did was I printed as well just a 1 mil piece of the bottom piece of the solar panel, so I knew where to line the holes up.
Right.
So then I was able to put this on here, and I think this is actually the wrong one. This is for the 22. But anyways, put it on here. Was able to do the holes, drill the holes, mark them, and drill them so that it will line up perfectly on here. And then I'll take some screws. And the nice thing about doing these inserts, if you do get these inserts, I do a lot of stuff in millimeters, but sometimes I need them a little bit bigger, and then I will switch over to like the 8/32 and 10/24 and 1/420s, which is what you see here. But I use a lot of these smaller millimeter ones. What's nice is it comes in a set that's not too expensive, and then you can buy a set of screws and washers that match that. So in different lengths. So it's actually kind of nice to be able to buy them together if you can.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, I love that too. I think I have one of those as well, the one of those sets and everything. And it does really come in handy doing all that.
Yeah. So now, like we mentioned before, I would silicone that in so this would be nice and sealed, but I'm going to switch it over to the 22.5 degree one.
Yeah, and I love the look of this too with the antenna. Mm-hmm. I know Chad and I were kind of talking about like the description and what would be the story with this one, and we were thinking maybe the story could be, and certainly I'd love to hear everybody's like input on this in the chat, is maybe the Sasquatch monitoring station lost communications. You know, so you have the antenna there, so it implies maybe that was the way that the data was being transferred onto that one, and then asking people to go to the location to then, you know, interact with the Sasquatch monitoring station.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's done. And so then the battery I went with on this was this is the one out of there. I didn't want to redo it, and I wish I would have now because I didn't take this apart until actually we were just waiting to open on the show. The LED, the reason why I have tape around here is that these wires do not have any kind of heat tube shrink around them, and I didn't want them touching. But typically what I would do is go ahead and I would heat tube that so you don't see that. And I'd also use a 5mm versus a 3mm light that flashes. So this is a flickering light LED. Or flashing, I shouldn't say flickering, flashing. Just a 2 AA battery holder and a resistor, which is, I believe, a 330 ohm. 330 orange, white, 390, I think is what it is. Resistor. And then this here, I always usually use quick releases or quick connects to my solar panels. So it's easy enough. You don't have to take this apart if you need to check something happens to the battery pack or the LED. It just snaps together in and out. And then when you do maintenance, it just snaps together as well. So it's fairly simple. So now you can see the LED is flashing, which I think it was because it was running on battery. So the solar panel will charge the batteries until there's no power, no sun, and then it will switch to battery on this. So then this will just stick inside the lens there and flash. And then what I will do is silicone this in, and I'm going to switch that to a 5mm LED. I debated, and I'm going to switch it. I'd like to use the 5, but I'd end up using double-sided sticky Velcro to Velcro this here to the side. That way, if you need to take it off to change the batteries, it's easier to pull it out or pull this off the wall to change the batteries than to try and get to them at an angle. So this will all mount inside here, nice and neat. Now, you can do, which I was trying to think of what I could do on another part of this cache, is I also have these cameras that strobe. So when they get motion, they'll actually send a strobe out, a light, so like a flash. And it's fairly bright. And they're also work off of a 3AA solar panel. And so I was trying to think where I could put that, but at night that might bring too much attention to the cache if you're not out caching. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sold on putting it on yet, but it's kind of a thought I had, maybe on a future one. So that will mount there. But before we mount this, I went ahead and designed and printed up a couple mounts for the panel. So I want everything hidden. So we're going to have a strap that goes through here. And then we'll have a cable that's going to have a lock on it. I want everything. I want it to be clean. I don't want you to be able to see any of that. So I went ahead and designed and printed up a mount here for the front panel. Again, I used the threaded inserts on them as well as for the front panel and the back. I printed this in two different ways. I did a solid back as well as a back where it just connected by the sides, because this is a cheap Harbor Freight box and it's concaved here on the back, so it kind of flares these out after you get this on, and I can show it to you here in a minute. So the way I end up making the holes for the bottom where the screws go, just to show you as well, is I went and drilled them in through where the feet are. That way that we'll put a little bit of silicone on them, put the screw in, and it will seal up really nice and neat and be out of sight. So this will pop in just like this. And one of the reasons why I did this after the solar panel is you can't get to the solar panel screw anymore if you do try and put the solar panel on afterwards. So we will go ahead and put those screws on.
Yeah, Direwolf has a great comment that I love. He said that we should ask people to submit Sasquatch sighting pictures in their logs, but they have to be really blurry photos.
Oh, that's fun.
We kind of joked about that at the beginning too of this too. You would have to show a picture, optional picture, because you can't make it required, of like a pose of you with Sasquatch. I know there's one of Gary on social media of him Sasquatch sign posing like the sign itself. So maybe you have to do the pose of the sticker that's on there or something like that. So I don't know. That would be kind of funny, because that's always great to add those things in there. Especially, I know, like Bell on the Move, he has a lightsaber cache, and people will do different shots with the lightsaber pictures. Those are always fun to see.
You made it like a photo booth.
Yeah.
Cache.
I'd say we can definitely give out bonus points for those pictures.
Yes. Now, that'd be actually great. Now you can actually put great story on your mark. Great story if when you use no Cachely, you can do it. And I think you might. I don't know if you can do it on the regular app or not, but I know on Cachely, which is of the network, you can do that as well. So
that's great. Sorry, this takes a little bit longer than open for. Having this concave back really messes up the flat part of the back here, so then it flares everything out. So you got to make sure you don't tighten up the screws all the way so you get them all in.
Yeah, and while Chad's doing that, I know there was, I think, a question on social media. Where is this going? So this is going to be posted up in Western New York. It's in Chautauqua County, and a few caches to grab while you're around here. Definitely, this is probably going to be, I think, like an hour away, maybe, from Eternal Flame Falls, one of the best earth caches out there.
Yeah.
So if you're in town to grab that, definitely grab Eternal Flame Falls. Another cool cache, probably an hour in the other direction, is actually the oldest cache in Pennsylvania as well too. So if anybody comes into town to grab these, let me know. Let's have pizza, let's talk caching, and let's have some fun.
Oh, I could have pizza with the Pizza Ninja if I go find this, huh?
Yeah,
I like that.
Even pickle pizza if somebody is adventurous enough to try it.
I would try it. I'd love.
I think I've had it. I'm pretty sure I have.
I had at the Kraken game. They have peanut butter and jelly corn dog.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It wasn't as good as I was hoping.
Oh, no.
But tried it.
Well, I was going through. Okay, here's. I was going through a box that we picked up from Cache Fest. Chat. I found one of your cucumber lime Gatorades.
Oh, did you? I love those. Everybody's like, that sounds terrible. I'm like, it's the best.
I put it in the refrigerator.
Yeah. You don't want to try it?
I've had it before.
Yeah. I love them.
I'm still out on if I like it or not. I'll have to try it again.
Yep. Okay.
Some things you have to try like 2 or 3 times,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I had it, I was like, that's really good. But I like weird things. It's cucumber. It's like a jalapeno cucumber or something like that.
So Grumpy Tired Mom says she's had a cheeseburger pizza with ketchup, mustard, and pickles. It was awesome.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, I'd try that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to put in is the strap. So if you saw in the video, I had a yellow strap that went around the tree. Unfortunately, it's only like 16 inches long. So once you get around that, you wouldn't be able to go around a very big tree. So this is as long as that one is. So I went and bought a couple 3-footers. So hopefully that will go around the tree. But if you know where you're putting it, you'll just have to purchase, 4 foot, 8 foot, whatever you want, and you can cut it down. So we made slits in here last week for the strap to go through. So I'm going to go ahead and feed that through real quick and just show you how this is going to work. So your strap will go through here, around the tree, back in through the slit on this side here. And then you would just tighten it. And this will all be hidden behind the face of the box. So you'll go ahead and take it, and then you can tighten it up to the box or to the tree itself. And this will allow you, people are worried about screwing stuff to trees or things being too tight. This will allow you, when you go do maintenance, you can loosen it up a little bit if you need to. But anyways, you'll tighten up around the box. I'm going to tighten this up fairly tight just because I don't want it flopping around.
Right.
When we're building here. And then the access will just end up being stuck behind the face and you wouldn't see it. The next thing will be the cable that we made last week. So we have this cable here that will go around the tree. After you have this snugged up to the tree, now this is just so no one can just cut the strap. They'd have to bring something a little bit stronger to cut a cable. And this is just stainless steel 1/8-inch cable. It goes in this side here. I put a stop on this side with a washer. So that will go through. You'll run it around the tree, and you don't want it to be too loose. Put this back in. Now, I think I put 5 feet on this for you, John, and you can either bind it up in here or you can cut it.
Okay.
Once you get it around, then what you're going to do is snug it up with a cable clamp. Which I thought I put in the box, but must not have.
So I love how Chad, as we can see kind of the top down of kind of where how Chad's got a lot of stuff. Everything's pretty much right there. I just love how he's got everything right there. I need to go in and do a whole bunch of stuff to my shop. That's for sure.
It makes it a lot easier when you got everything kind of right here. But I don't see that cable clamp. I know I put it somewhere so I wouldn't forget it. But the cable clamp goes on here. I can show it later or take a picture. I got so many projects for other things going on. I might have got stuck on it. But anyways, the cable clamp just clamps to this here. So what I would do is feed the washer back on it, which I'll send you the washers and everything in the cable clamp. You'll put the washer on first, and that will prevent anybody from being able to yank that through the plastic there. And then you just put the cable clamp onto it. And if you're going to cut it, I'd leave probably a foot of it in here so you can always adjust it, or if you need to change locations, or you can probably just take the whole thing, whatever is left over. I'd imagine your tree is going to be at least 1 foot or 2 foot in diameter.
Yeah, it is. And I like this too, because it'll kind of give a little bit of adjustment over time if the tree grows. Yeah.
So anyway, you'll put that in there, and then you put the clamp on there, and then you'll be good. No lock or anything needed once you have that clamp on. And again, if someone really wants to take it, they're going to take it. This isn't really going to stop someone that really wants it, but someone who maybe doesn't have the tool or something, or may just be thinking about it, it may be enough just to deter them from wanting to take the cash. So I am going to pull this cable out just so I don't have to work around it too much here while I'm putting the rest together. Okay. And then the next part is, and this is just a wire from the fake antenna. This is just, I think this is a 4G antenna thing off of a router or something. Anyways, it just flips up and down. For transporting, I just put it down. But for you, John, I'll probably unscrew it. It just threads in and out, and put it in the box.
Okay, sounds good.
But it just pops up and down. And then now you have your upper piece that's going to cover all the stuff behind here. So we'll have, I'll stick this in here.
No, just not Sasquatches. Direwolf says muggles aren't allowed to watch the show, are they? I said, no, just Sasquatches are not.
All right. So this will get siliconed in, hot glued in, whatever you want to do on that. This will be mounted with Velcro. And then this is the top piece I made. So I made it 2 different levels here, as you can see here, because I knew I was going to have the LED here in batteries. Wasn't sure the depth I needed. I could actually go a little bit thinner, or a little bit shallower if I wanted to, but this sits flush on the top. So this will go ahead and mount in here. It's pretty snug.
Looks like a perfect fit.
And yeah, and then you can see I put the threaded inserts in. We can go ahead and screw these into it. I don't drop all my screws. That's another big thing I keep is a nice magnet, because I drop a lot of screws, but unfortunately I believe these are stainless steel screws, so the magnet's not going to work.
Yeah, and Chad, Chronically Tired Mom's asking a question on here too. Do you make 2 of your caches just in case they get stolen?
Mine, I don't typically make 2. Well, I say that because I shouldn't say anything, but mine typically don't get stolen because mine are mounted to buildings or have security cameras on them. Most of them. But that being said, I have 3 of the screen caches built over here. So if something did happen to it, if I had that one out, I would do it. So I prototype one, and I don't like it. And instead of tearing it all the way apart, in case I want to mess with it some more, I'd leave it together. So this is for an example. This is the original Scream cache here that we built that the container fell and broke on, and I ended up just rebuilding it. Sorry, I didn't know if you knew my
yes, I was, yeah. All right, so here I will look at it on the build.
Go. So this is it. It's all built in there. So if something happened to it, I can technically take this and remake it, but it's not too hard to remake. It's just printing up and doing whatever. So no, not too often. Okay, so we have that in. I dropped that one screw. The one thing about that concave back there is when I tighten that white back piece down, and I could probably tighten down after I get this in, it took those legs I built that I printed here that are sticking up right here, and it twisted them because the back of that's not straight, and so now they're not exactly centered, which you can see they went in really easy. They're just not exactly centered in the hole. But you just kind of push the screw over and it centers itself. Real simple. Okay, so that's in nice and clean. Now, I don't know if you want to talk about the puzzle at all, John, or say what it's going to be. You don't have to say what it is, but how you're going to find it.
Yeah, certainly. So one of the things I'm thinking about doing, and I don't want to give away the draft puzzle, but one thing I've done before is I've used Google Forms for puzzles. So I'm putting like one example in the chat here. This is a puzzle previously I did called the Bridge of Death. It was featured as the geocaching puzzle of the day back in May 20th, 2020. And on here, if you go to the link in that one, you'll see it's actually a Google form that I use. And in Google Forms, you can actually do response validators. So you can put in things that verify the answer. And what I'm thinking I'm going to do for this one is I'm actually going to create a Sasquatch data collection form that people will probably have to submit on that side. So I made one that is very similar to that one. But if people want to go through and check out that Bridge of Death one, you can go through and actually kind of get a sense how you can use a Google form for creating a puzzle that will then give you coordinates. Or you can give that to actually unlock a puzzle as well, too, if you want to give a code after somebody completes it.
Great. Okay. I went and got an extra table to put over here while John was talking. So I can actually not have to throw stuff all around. Okay, so from my understanding, or what you could do, one of my thoughts, and we talked about it, you can put a QR code inside the door for the puzzle. So you can either have just a regular preform inside of the container. So you can do a puzzle to get into it and just have a regular preform, or you can do a puzzle to get into it. And then, like most of my caches are 2-step, 3D printed this preform lock here. And so this will be sitting inside, and there'll be another puzzle to actually get to the logbook. So you have to figure out the code, and it'll come undone. And let's see here.
Yeah, and that's really cool. I like how that preform unlock came out, and that's very nice. I mean, how that just sits in there too.
Yeah, this lock isn't the best use for it, but the lid comes off and then the preform will come out of it.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, this is something that Dave Wagner designed years ago and sent it over to me. The file to print and sell or use or whatever. And I've never used it because I don't put many preforms out. But when I was doing this, I thought this would be a perfect use for it.
That is a cool one, because I've also seen the ones where, and I have one in my closet back here in the back. But I have the one where it actually has it's another type that has you can put it on a preform and actually has a combination on top of it too.
Yeah, I think that's like a wine bottle lock one, isn't it, or something like that?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool. It'd take up a lot less room and not be as bulky, but
yeah, I'll see if I can find it here in a second. When I'll let y'all talk and I'll jump off here for a second. So
yeah, that one's really cool. So the preform will fit inside the box here with the lock on it, and then you could do whatever designing you want. I know one feature I wanted to put on it is to give the was it the rails to trails?
Yeah.
I wanted to give you guys some recognition, so I made a template here to paint, and was going to stick this on the door. But if you're going to do a QR code, I might make a smaller one and go ahead and put it on the back of the 3D print. I could also add it to the 3D print too as well. So just do a 2-color print.
Yeah, I think if you want to do the smaller one, Chad, on there, because I'm almost just thinking out loud here, I could probably put the QR code with that data collection form puzzle on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that could be cool, because then I'm almost thinking in there I'll probably put some like gag survey ones too for fun for people to put in to collect information.
So are you going to have paper in here?
No, I'm thinking probably just a laminated sheet with the QR code. Something that says, like, if communication fails to the Sasquatch data or Sasquatch monitoring station, please enter your data manually using this QR code to the link.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I could put a little thing here, make a little pocket 3D print one if you're going to put forms, or I could even cut a piece of acrylic this size, put some screws in it, and you could screw whatever it is behind the acrylic so then it doesn't get wet or ripped or anything.
Right.
Yeah, I like the acrylic idea.
So that'll be nice. You'll just see some heads of screws, but again, that makes it, to me, that kind of makes it more authentic looking, that there's actually something in there, stuff's attached to it. You know, same reason why I like to have the solar panel, the LED, and the antenna.
That does look cool, and I like the camera, the LED light on the side, or the camera lens on the side. I think it just looks really, really cool. That I really do like it. Now, here's what I was talking about. This is the focus. There you go. This is the one where it's you can lock up a freeform here as well, and it's really easy. You put in the code. It's a 3-digit code, and then you has the button on the top, and you can just push the button. And then it'll actually open up if I can get it right. Oh, let's actually put in the right code. So then it just opens up, and that's how it is on the inside.
Yeah, that's cool. See, I like that one a little bit better. The thing with 3D printed ones are that it's a 3D print, right? So it's not the strongest thing. If you look at this, you can see the layer lines there. And really, if I took this, and again, it's someone who's going to really be desperate to get into it. If I took this and I yanked really hard on it, it would just break the 3D filament. I mean, they would have to put a lot of pressure on it. It's pretty thick, but it would work. Yours is really clean, and I like how clean it is, how yours is. But I didn't have one of those. I only have this. So
I don't know where I got that. I don't know where I found it. It might have been on geocaching.com or something like that, where I might have found it. I don't remember. Or if it was on, because it came with a Logwork sponsored book in there, logbook in there as well. So, and I'll in fact, I'm gonna kind of look real quick, see if we can find it as y'all are talking some more.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, it would be great to know where to get that.
At some point, didn't I? Everybody's looking at my feet. Okay, so the other thing we're talking about is online. We had people, when we posted pictures of this, want some. So I'm not against making a kit that you can purchase and put it together yourself and put your own out. We were talking about numbering them. So I thought about making it so you can paint the number on yourself for this. And, you know, these are I'm just brainstorming here, different ideas. So you can make yours would be 01 and the next one should be 02 or whatever, so on. I mean, or there's these type of number templates here, or number plates. I don't know if you see them, it's backwards. That can be riveted on as well in different areas. That gives the number on it. But I think almost painting it or putting a sticker on might be a little bit easier. But these are kind of cool. These, I don't remember how I got these. Someone gave these to me at one point. And actually, you know, I know how I got them. They were shipped to me inside one of my Amazon packages. And I told them I didn't order them, and they just said keep them. I don't think they're very expensive.
I was gonna say they look really nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're nice, but I don't know what the price was. But when I wanted to return them because I didn't order it, they weren't worried about it. So
I found you can get them on geocaching.com, the shop. So shop.geocaching.com. They're $18, $17.99.
oh, nice.
So you can just go on there and order them from there.
Cool.
It's combo lock tube geocache. So and that might have been where I got this from, and then I just put a different preform on it, or petling tube, or whatever you want to call
Whatever
this.
you call it.
And those that don't know what these actually are, I don't know if anybody knows what these are actually bottles. Like this might be like a Sprite bottle before it's actually heated up and blown out to this shape. This is what when they get them at this at the factory for it, that's what these actually are. So this is a unused tiny Sprite bottle is what these are, not test tubes or anything like that. That's what the petlings are. So fun fact, if you didn't know what these actually were, there's not a company out there bulk manufacturing geocaches like this. It's actually another use, like we've used everything else as a different use.
Well, they're unintentionally bulk manufacturing them.
Right. Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Not just the geocaching. One thing I wanted to mention is I did mess up on here when I did the hole for the antenna, and I drilled it on the bottom. So I hate having extra holes. So I 3D printed some plugs and plugged it and siliconed it in, glued it in, and everything. So if you mess up, it's not that big of a deal. You just got to figure out some kind of way. I wanted to keep it waterproof, so I just printed up a couple of plugs. There one there, and then I was going to originally have the LED above this here. So this actually looked like a camera or a sensor.
Right.
But then I changed my mind, so I ended up plugging that. But that will stay waterproof as well.
Yeah, and I love how these look, Chad, because I mean, really, when you're looking at different ones, looking at trail cameras and trail counters, I mean, this looks almost exactly like a real legitimate trail counter that people use out there to keep track of how many people go onto trails out there.
Right.
Oh, that's great. That's kind of the point, was that someone would know what a trail counter is, trail counter, whatever you call it, and wouldn't mess with it. And that's what I wanted to do. If you see most of my caches, they look like they blend in there. Right? They look like they belong there. And that was one of the points. I think if we made it not look like one, someone would probably mess with it and try and get into it. But we'll see. I mean, if they read the name on it too, they might go, "What is that?" Might be kind of hokey, but
yeah.
So we'll see.
I think, and I agree with what you were saying earlier, Chad, that this would be kind of cool as a kit. And where are we putting our kits now is kind of going to give a little plug. And Chad and I actually have the shirts on tonight.
We do,
Gadget Academy. Both of us have Gadget Academy shirts on. But it's actually gadgetacademybuilds.com. And that's where a lot of the kits that Chad and Dave have designed, and they're on there now. And let me share the page real quick. But that's where you can find these kits. And I think that would be a really cool idea to have this as a kit on here. So yeah, so here's the site, Gadget Academy kit. Of course, you got some of the other stuff here, the Dino Skull crates, GeoCoin Fest 2021 poker chip display. So if you were at at Coin Fest, GeoCoin Fest, that's your poker table that you can order. Of course, the coins are up here of the Gadget Talk, different shows that are on here as well. But then also right here is the Magic Blocks kit. Is that the only one you have up there right now, Chad?
No, so if you go up to go back one page and go up, go to shop now.
Shop now, okay.
Okay, and then you'll have you can have everything there, or you can pick kits or whatever. So everything's up there. I'll have shirts up there. I'm printing up a bunch of shirts here in a couple weeks. So I'll have Gadget Academy shirts and stuff. But yeah, anything there, or this is where they'll be, and we'll announce it, on our social media when they go live. If I get enough interest, I don't want to put a bunch together and have them around.
Right. So yeah, so there's the memory kits, the chase kit, the scales kit, and the Magic Blocks kit. So all those are up there, and the coins, of course, for all of Geocache Talk.
Yeah, so the only one I don't have up there is the cube.
Right.
And that's on purpose. It's one of those kits that if there's a couple different chips in there, if somehow it gets messed up, and it happened in shipping a few times, where the chip must have been exposed to some kind of static electricity or something and didn't work. I didn't want to have to sit there and keep sending parts back and forth. It's also a lot harder to solder those kits up, and so I'm leaving those mainly right now, unless I get a lot of people that want them, as an event cache that you'll actually have to do at Gadget Academy.
Right. So here's a question: is the coffin for sale for the one that fits the 2 sugar skulls, or the small one from the event?
So the one on there is for the event that you see right in
3
front.
sugar skulls.
That fits the 3, but not on shelves. I think they're talking about this one. Sorry. I made this one up. I stained it too pink and painted it. But it has all 3 and it's deeper. I haven't put them up for sale yet. I haven't had too big of a demand on them, but if someone's interested, shoot me an email and I can stick it up there. I mean, that's hefty. I just have to hit a button and print it. So.
Right. And of course, you can always send that email, as I've got to change over here, to gadgettalkpodcast@gmail.com. And you can get it there. You can message us on social media. You can find us on Instagram at Gadget Talk Podcast. Or you can just send us, find us on any social media, of course, my personal or because I'm friends with a lot of y'all on my personal social media, or you can find me on Behind the Cache. And Chad is bounce8 on Instagram. So that's there, and you can find that, or you can, like I said, you can just email us at gadgettalkpodcast@gmail.com and get that information, or find us on Instagram at Gadget Talk Podcast.
Yes. And one more thing here, real quick, while we're going, before we go, is online. I did post a picture of a 18650 battery charger, solar panel battery charger. And these solar panels that I showed here. These are, I think I said, was 6-volt solar panels. They actually read in at like 5.4 or something like that when you read them on a meter. But this actually, because it is 18650 and it's a LiPo battery, it has a special board that prevents overcharging.
Oh, okay.
On it, right? Because these things will catch on fire. It ran great. I actually built this the day after our show, put it outside, and last week it quit working during the night and only during the day. So it wasn't charging enough. So once I get this perfected, I can talk about it, because this definitely would be a better battery, a single battery system. But then you have a chip in your cache too. You got to worry about going bad versus what I showed you tonight, which is just the AA battery with the solar charger. It doesn't have any of that. So, I posted this, and I just kind of what I mentioned. I didn't go over it tonight because I'm not happy with it. And once I get it figured out, then maybe I'll go over it then at that point. So, yeah.
All right. So just kind of look at
So John was talking about the cache that we were kind of basing off of is this one here. And that's one thing that I didn't mention on here is you'll have to get, obviously there's spots here for locks, and I don't think you need both. I think you just need one. You can do both if you want, and I think you'd need a combination lock unless you're going to find a key somewhere. But
I combination lock, so I think those should be good. One thing that I know, Chad, and I appreciate all the hard work and all the design on this one, because I think this really opens up a lot of opportunities for people to hide gadget caches kind of disguised as trail counters or trail cameras out there too. So I think that's actually pretty cool to use this as a model moving forward. And one other thing I wanted to mention too, because I know we're a little bit tight on time, is if anybody does put one of these out, please let me know. I'm happy to maintain a bookmark list with all the Sasquatch monitoring stations that people put out there. And I think that would be really cool to have a listing of those.
Yeah. I agree. I think that'd be fun. If we could get them around, we could actually do some kind of listing or series of them. It'd be kind of cool to do a coin if you can find them all, but
that would be cool.
Yeah, that's like way in the future. That'd have to be discussions.
Yeah,
let's talk about that. I like your idea, John, of having a map of where they're placed, because I know I had feedback from someone in Colorado, 2 people in Florida, Australia, and a couple other places I don't remember where exactly. off the top of my head. Canada was one somewhere up there. I don't remember where. But anyways, if we get enough feedback and people are willing to purchase the kits, then we'll put them out and we'll make a map. I think that'd be awesome.
I think that would be cool.
That would be really cool.
If I sign the log before I ship them out, do I get to claim those? Is that how that works?
That'd just be an autographed.
It'll have to be our first road trip, I guess, then, right, Derek?
Yeah, which
man.
I would still love to be able to do that.
Me too.
That's still one of my
That'd be
dreams
cool.
to be able to do that. Take some time off and be able to do a gadget talk across America.
Yeah.
So,
And then one more thing here before we go is a few weeks ago or a few shows ago, we had Daniel Flieger
yes.
on. He has his Germany tour coming up in March, and just wanted to bring that up. More than likely, I will be there as well on that tour. So if you want to come, book it now as soon as possible. But just wanted to bring it up and kind of plug that if you're interested. It's going to be a great tour. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I was trying to see, and you can find that at cashhorizon.com. I was trying to find the email or the website. So you can go on there and find that on there. The tours, you go into tours or trips or whatever it says up there, and you can go in there and find that trip to Germany. It's actually where instead of bringing Germans to the U.S., it's going to be taking U.S. Americans or other people from different countries to Germany and do a whole tour of a whole bunch of stuff. So sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it does, and I'm looking forward to going. If I can make it work with my schedule, I'm sure I will.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
So cool.
So, and then also don't forget next week, 8:00 Central is the Cash Fest update on the events that's going on, and Gary's getting to spill the beans on what this is. So once again, I'm gonna show it again. He gets to spill the beans on what this is. So you're not going to want to miss that. That's next week here on the Geocache Talk Network. So don't miss that. Gary's going to be spilling some beans. The whole Cache crew is going to be spilling some beans. So it's going to be a lot of fun about the event. Cache Fest Memphis here this summer. July 15th, is it this time? 17th.
You got me. My memory's terrible.
Well,
I think 15th, right?
The events are going to start earlier in the week, and then the big event, of course, is on Saturday. So it's that week of 16th, 17th, whatever that Saturday is. That's the main event.
The 15th.
Everything else is up to that point. So
yeah,
we had some good meetings. There's going to be a lot of cool reveals next week that you're not going to want to miss. There'll be some stuff that's going to pop up on the website maybe this week. So be checking that out. And of course, that's cashfest.com.
July 15th is what Lori from Seaback Tribe says.
Okay.
And I think the GC code for Cache Fest, correct, is GC9 ZEFF, ZEFF.
I believe so. That's right. So
Okay.
Get your Willetins in there, and because it's going to be a lot of fun. Yes, GC9ZEFF, which is such a cool code anyways. So
that's really cool. One more thing I should mention, because I've had a lot of people ask me, the Gadget Academy tags that people have asked about, the trackable tags. They're going out. There's 400 of them going out in February in the Cache Crate. So if you're a Cache Crate subscriber, you'll get one. But anyways, or you may want to email them if you're wanting one separately. But just to get that out there, since people are asking about how to get one. Other than that, you'll only be able to get one if you attend a Gadget Academy.
Right. So, all right. Hope everybody's enjoyed tonight. So don't forget next week. Thanks, Chad, for the hard work on this. The Sasquatch monitoring station. John, I know you're looking forward to getting it. This is such a cool cache and very simple to make. Fairly simple to make, just a lot of fun. And like we said, we would love to see a bookmark list of any of y'all that build one of these.
Yeah, if you're interested in, make sure Derek mentioned the email. Gadget Academy, or no, I'm not sorry.
Geocache Talk.
Hang on, I have my sticky note over it. Gadget Talk podcast
at gmail.com.
There's too many. It's like Coin Fest and Cache Fest. I get those mixed up all the time. So yes. Anyways, send us an email. If there's enough interest, then I will make them those kits.
Awesome. All right, everybody. don't forget next week. See you next week for those of us that are on the Cache Fest crew. But till then, make something, have some fun, and get out there and go geocaching. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.